location on duty, they have to put in our schedule prayer. You know, that didn't used to be the case. You know, now we got mosques, dedicated spaces on almost every base in the military now, things we didn't have, you see. And look at how it prepares us. Now he's prepared, he's deputy mayor type position, right? The military has prepared him for that. You see, the training as well. I'm ready to bring on one now that when he came in, things were a little tight and tough. We're going to hear now from a World War II veteran. He's our guest for the day. He's not here physically. We were going to bring him in, but he had to go to the hospital, so he's under doctor's advisement right now. But the president just recognized him recently and put his special coin in this individual's hand at the White House. And he became the most popular person at the White House. Everybody, non-Muslims alike, was around him wanting to take photos with this Muslim. And the same thing happened just a month before he was at the Pentagon. And you got the Secretary of Defense, two secretaries, Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of the Army, highlighting this Muslim veteran, World War II. Now let me, I'm going, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I'm going to read something the president said about the World War II veterans. This is a statement from the president. And he said, and speaking about the anniversary of the World War II, he said, today we commemorate the 70th anniversary of the formal end of World War II in the Pacific, a conflict that tragically claimed millions of lives across Asia and Oceania and stretched several months beyond the war's conclusion in the European theater. We salute the American servicemen and women of the greatest generation who answered the call of duty in the Pacific, as well as the Allied forces with whom they served. We remember those who endured unimaginable suffering as prisoners of war, and we honor the ultimate sacrifice of more than 100,000 U.S. service members who laid down their lives in the Pacific theater to defend our nation and advance the cause of freedom. To them, and to the 16 million Americans who served in the Second World War, those who are no longer with us, and our proud veterans today, our debt of gratitude can never be repaid. We live in freedom because of their brave service. Brothers and sisters, I'm bringing you one of those that the president is talking about, Nazim Abdul Karim.
Sheikh Karim, you there? Okay, we ready to hear you address us?
I would like first to say Assalamu alaikum to the Muslim family, all the friends, pastors and ministers, and special guests, and to Imam Talib. I want to thank him for all that he has done and is doing. So I want to explain some of my experience that I encountered while being at the White House last month. The President of the United States of America, when I shook hands with him, I had a letter for him from Sister Zakia out of California, and I had to give that letter to his private secretary because he wasn't going to take any pictures or shake hands with anyone having something in their hand. So I am proud to be one who acts as a courier for Sister Zakia, for Imam Deen Mohammed and the Honorable Elijah Mohammed, requested and asking the President for presidential partner for these two courageous Muslims.
Alhamdulillah.
newsroom, they made preparation to make sure that I got in close to the president, the Secret Service did, and when he mentioned my name, all of the people who were in the newsroom at that time, they took the camera off of the president and put the camera on me. So at that point, I was the center of the attraction at that particular time. I would like to also say that in meeting the president face to face, I gathered that he was a good man, and I also feel that he would like to do a lot of things that he is not able to do. But anyway, I appreciate the information. I should appreciate the invitation to visit the White House after living here since 1946 when I got out of the Army in World War II. So I want to greet all of my sisters and brothers there at the convention. I wish that I could be there, but Allah saw fit that I could not be there, and I have accepted the fact that I am home, convalescent from the stay at the Howard University Hospital. My doctor diagnosed that my problem was congestion, heart failure, and I'm doing fine now. And I'm feeling fine. The only thing I wish right now is that I was there, present with all of you.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
You're here with us now, and thank you so much for your beautiful words and your spirit. I'll let Imam Sharif speak to you before we let you go.
Okay.
Okay, Sheikh Nazim, I'm gonna have a special person, actually the grandson of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the son of Imam Deen Mohammed, the president of the Mosque, the ministry of Imam Deen Mohammed. He's getting ready to going to speak to you.
Okay.
Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Nazim. Brother Nazim, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here. If you could see the faces of all of the believers that are here and hearing your voice, that we're so humbled and so honored by your presence here, you being one of us, and being especially being a senior one of us, and me not being able to see your face. I can hear the pride and the love that you have, and from the generations, you sound like my family, my father's family, and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and people from that era, from that era of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I can hear the love and I can hear the wisdom in your voice, and we're humble and greatly appreciative of your service, and we're proud of the recognition that the White House and the President gave you. That you helping my children. I have my 5-year-old daughter here. She's sleeping in the lap of her mother, and my son is here also, and he's 7 years old. And I feel so grateful to Allah that they're able to share this moment with us. Alhamdulillah, and thank you.
Yes, sir, brother.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Physically at the next convention
Yes,
coming
sir.
up next year, I project that I will still to be around, inshallah.
Allahu Akbar. You sound strong and you sound beautiful, brother. We love you.
Thank you. I love all you, my sisters and brothers and sisters. You are my family, and I accept you as such. Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. One more thing I want you to know, we're getting ready to do. We're getting ready to present something to Imam Deen Mohammed II. We're going to present to him. I'm going to let Imam Linden tell you about it. Commander Linden. Great.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Brother Sheikh Nazim, this is the 2-hour interview that we did at the Library of Congress last September. We want to present a copy of the DVD to the President of the Mosque, Imam Deen Mohammed II.
Praise be to Allah.
Yes.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All praise be to Allah. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheikh Nazim. So we'll see you when we get back, inshallah. We're very grateful for the time you spent with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes. Walaikum assalam.
2 hours. Now you may have heard him. We thank Allah for him. Again, he's in the 90s now. And again, he made great sacrifices, as you heard from our president. But he put this document, I'm getting ready to read a document to you that he put in the president's hands that we're going to ask you to support. And let me read to you what he spoke about. This is a petition for presidential pardon for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and for Imam Deen Muhammad and 300 Muslim men. And here it goes. To President Barack Obama, I joined the Muslim African American community, millions of citizens and religious government and civic leaders of all faith traditions to petition you as President of the United States of America for a presidential pardon for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Imam Deen Muhammad, and more than 300 Muslim men in prison during World War II and the Korean conflict. During a time in the United States history when Muslim African Americans suffered from blatant racial and religious persecution, these men refused to register for the draft based on their Islamic beliefs. Elijah Muhammad was too old to register. His biographer stated, J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI used the charges of draft evasion and sedition as a pretext for conducting a multi-state assault on the Muslims, temple people. Elijah Muhammad, his 21-year-old son Emmanuel, and 300 Muslim men were rounded up, taken from their homes and families, and put in prison from 1942 to 1946. Imam Deen Muhammad sought conscientious objector status during the Korean conflict and was in prison from 1960 to 1963. As a signatory to this petition, I and/or my organization request you to release these outstanding Muslim leaders from the scourge of their imprisonment by granting them a presidential pardon. These great men have devoted their lives to the betterment of African Americans, religious freedom, and human excellence. For more information, individual biographies are attached. Thank you for your honorable consideration and expeditious action. I have in my hand the first one signed by Imam Deen Mohammed II. And we're asking you all to do the same thing. We have a bunch of them. They're being circulated now. Sign those and turn those in, please. We can get those back to the White House. This was put into the president's hand by our World War II veteran that we just heard from. Hands are up, so please make sure we get copies of those to those who have their hands up. Okay. Yeah, we don't have enough, I'm told, for everybody in the audience that may need one. But the petition is online. It is in the Muslim Journal. The link to go to online to sign the petition. Please get it, sign it, promote it, pass it on to others. And look at this. Imam Muhammad was imprisoned in 1960 to 63. And still, he picked up the flag at a time when it wasn't even popular, even in America, whites were burning the flag. And he still picked it up. Look at the courage of this individual, based on the sacrifice and also based on the wisdom and strategy of Muhammad the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we thank Allah for you. I'm now going to transition, and we're going to hear from our president of the Mosque, who has been hosting these events since 2009. And again, I want it to be known that we didn't have these sessions, no believers in uniforms, on his father. His father picked the flag up. His son, his own wisdom, he's taking it further at a time, and who would have known that we would have needed this expression more than any other time? The President of the United States said that our community is a silver bullet towards extremism and radicalization. And he lets us know that if Imam hadn't picked the flag up, the stuff that we saw during the time of the World War II and etc., concentration camps, all those things would have been happening right now. But Imam set the stage right now for us to claim our citizenship rights and build upon those citizenship rights. And he has taken it to a step further. So we thank Allah for him and his own wisdom for carrying this on, this legacy of his own legacy now. His father gets the credit as a part of his Sadaqah Jariyah, but now his son starting his own record. It's been consistent ever since. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Warith Deen Mohammed, the president of the Mosque.
All praises due to Allah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Welcome everyone. And this is amazing. It's like you see your whole life through these programs, these national programs that reflect on our past and our history. And I look deep into my soul and I see myself. I said, wow. Imam mentioned legacy, but before he mentioned legacy, I said he gives me a lot of credit for this. But it wasn't not for Imam Talib's support and his leadership, this program wouldn't have gone off as beautiful and as consistent as it has been. So he's been a great catalyst for this program, and it wouldn't have happened without him. But I believe, as Imam used to say, he was born for the mission. I can see through this program that I was born for this mission. Imam, yes, alhamdulillah. There are things Imam did, and he must have decided from day one when I was born that I was his first son and his namesake, and he had a plan for me, and I'm sure he had a plan for me far before I was old enough to know it or understand. I was born in 1967, and when just in mention, I'm thinking, well, he got out of prison in '63, and I was born not too long after that, and then a few years later, before I was 7 years old, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed, but he put me in Montessori schools, as opposed to putting me in the University of Islam. And University of Islam was probably 100% at the time. I know the one here in Chicago was probably 100% young African American children, elementary and secondary school. But the Montessori, it was a picture of all of the nationalities that represented Chicago, and even minorities. There was Asians. I'm not sure which Asians, but probably Chinese, Korean, maybe Philippine, Latinos from different Latin nations. I'm not sure if they were Mexican or not. I'm talking about when I was in kindergarten, and what would be equivalent of first and second grade. I was at the Montessori schools up until he became the leader. When he became the leader, I went to the University of Islam just long enough for him to make the transition, and he almost immediately changed the name of the school after he became leader from University of Islam to Clara Mohammed School Systems. So he had prepared me for the experience after he passed. The next time I was in such a pluralistic, multicultural environment and multi-religious environment was after he passed, and I was accepted into Religions of Peace, which is an organization, an interfaith organization, which he played a major role in founding. He was one of the founding members. And I felt so comfortable. And of course, in between that time, my entire life under my father, I never saw a man that had any race issues, any prejudice, any conflict in his soul and in his self. With, although the country and African American people had one mindset, but I saw a man, he lived his life in his spirit the way we feel today. This was 30 years ago. I never heard him speak ill with a spirit to say anything negative that he would hurt anyone's feelings if they were present. If they were Caucasian or anybody outside of the race, the African American race, heard him speak, there was nothing that I felt personally that if they heard him by ear, they would be offended. He wasn't a man who had trouble with race, and he definitely wasn't a man who had conflict in him with his loyalty, which he explained to us many times, to the country that he lived in, loved, born and raised in, family born and raised in Dyes, ancestors, generations. And he also said something very beautiful that has helped. I didn't help me personally, but I never need help to love our country. I was a little boy, I'm not sure what age I was, when he carried the flag across the stage. He picked it up out of the post. I'm pretty sure I was there, but I remember not having any issues, and I appreciate him keeping me out of the school before he could be there to counter some of the environment that the Nation of Islam had created in the minds of the youth. He didn't want to have to deprogram me, and some people you can't save, you know, once they've been captured by a certain mindset. He taught me to love the natural life and the life that Allah has given us, and our entire family was the same way. I'm reflecting when I was a child, how I used to like to pretend to be Captain America. You know, I remember taking my crayons and taking the lid to a can and poking holes in it and put a hanger through it so it fit my arm like a shield, and I would play out in the streets with, I guess y'all know, this is like a family setting. I could tell you we used to have rock fights. We'd go in the alley and throw rocks at each other. And until people got hurt, and then our parents made us stop. But I didn't have any hang-ups. And my father, I used to like to draw. I drew all the superhero characters and all of them. And it didn't damage my psyche in any way, shape, or form to be, he wasn't afraid that somehow he would lose his son coming up in the culture that we live in. And it's helped me today because I hear a lot of talk amongst African American people how we're dominated by a culture that promotes white superiority over African American or over blacks. But I believe that if you have a loving community and a loving family, that the love that you give counters any falsehood that's out there or any negative things that's out there, and the person, and you instill the qualities in the human being that we need to show love and to have patience and have faith and not to step out of our bounds and allow God's will to be done. Because it's always God's will, never our will. And we trust God, and that is what I believe has made us such a beautiful community here, that we're able to do that. And so I can't take all the credit, but I do accept and I believe and I agree that it was in the plan of Allah and also in the plan of my father any father would want a good future for their son, their child, especially their son. And I think it was in his plan that I be a person that wasn't burdened with the same burdens that he had and that he had to overcome. And I thank Allah for it, because I'm a happy man. I'm a very happy man. Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
It was 7 years ago. I went to see him about two things. I came to Chicago, and it was about a business opportunity that I wanted him to take a look at, and it was also about the military, endorsing chaplains, because I had put a package together for the Imam at one time on that, and something happened to it, and I told the Imam I'll do it again. But anyway, that's something the Imam wanted us to have, was endorsing agency. But I went to talk to him about those two things, and I had a 15-minute meeting. This was scheduled. I ended up being there for 2 hours. And during the course of it, him and Mohammed, they kept calling me Chief. He didn't call me Imam, he was calling me Chief. And so I wondered, what's going on? And so after that, I left with a job of doing this right here. So alhamdulillah. I want to, in military tradition.
We ambushed them.
Yeah. In military tradition, we pass coins. I have brought with me the nation's capital coin that I want to present to the president of the Mosque. And now y'all know the first time I presented the coin, he did.
I'm focused now.
All right.
Now watch this. I know not to let go until I have it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You're in the cabinet next to the rest of them. I cherish it. I got it now.
Thank you.
Allahu Akbar.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have Muti come up. Hold up. Muti and Imam Rasul come up as well. We're presenting to them second term Obama coin, second term. And before he goes out of office, second term Obama coin.
Thank you. Alhamdulillah.
Second term. Our dear Master Sergeant, the first sergeant, he said she'd be Chief Coin. Thank you. I know, don't worry about it. Okay, what we want to do now, we're going to transition to the second part of public address, but we want all those on the stage to stand up. We're going to take a photo, and all those who are veterans out, please come stand up so we can get the historical annual photo of all the veterans for this here. It's a big deal, the only thing happening in our nations. So please, if you're a veteran, make your way up to the front of the stage, please, so we can get this photo. And if you're on the stage, please just stand up and start gathering around so we can take this photo, inshallah. And we got one more presentation. Want to present, we know Imam Deen, he's an honorary member of MABA. So we're going to present to him the t-shirt, the official t-shirt with the MABA logo on it, and the cap. We know he loves caps as well.
Thank you.
So veterans, let's tighten it up, and the photographers can let us know.
We do have the Imam. He was one of the 300 men was in prison.
Where's he?
On the other side.
Do we need to pull this back or just that's not.
So